I mean, I have a good relationship with Mary. And I still am not talking with Christine.
I am defensive a little bit because of what's gone on with Janelle and with Christine and with the kids.
Christine and I just don't talk. Christine came in the family, sort of diluted the relationship between Janelle and Mary.
Oh, buckle up, besties, because this one is piping hot. Christine Brown has finally said what we've all been thinking. There's no marriage if there's no passion. In a bombshell confession, she's tearing the curtains off her bedroom with Cody, and let's just say it's not exactly a love story.
I had such a better relationship with Janelle, with Christine, with Robin.
She's done tiptoeing around his man-child delusions. Christine says their marriage wasn't just broken, it was dead in the water, because Cody stopped caring about what went on behind closed doors. And when Christine dropped this truth bomb, fans' jaws hit the floor. We always knew there were cracks in that marriage, but this was the moment she stopped pretending everything was fine.
Janelle and Christine didn't survive. I should have gotten out of the relationship 25 years ago.
She's not just talking about a few bad nights or a little distance, she's talking about a marriage that was missing its heartbeat. Christine said it plain as day. We both knew there was something lacking and something missing. And if you've ever been in a relationship where the love faded and the silence got louder, you know exactly what she means. She didn't just feel lonely, she felt invisible. She was living in a house with a man who acted like a loving husband on camera, but behind the scenes, nothing but cold shoulders and empty nights.
Janelle and Christine discuss Cody's habit of criticizing his wives in the areas in which they are most vulnerable.
Christine's confession isn't just shocking, it's relatable. Because how many of us have stayed too long in relationships where there's no spark, no connection, just a routine that feels like it's slowly killing you? She's saying out loud what so many people are too afraid to admit. That intimacy isn't just about it's about feeling seen, wanted, and alive. And Cody, he wasn't giving her any of that. He was too busy chasing the next thing to care about the woman right in front of him. So when Christine says there's no marriage without intimacy, she's not just talking about her bedroom, she's talking about the soul of the relationship. And this time, she's done letting Cody's version of love keep her quiet. She's speaking her truth, and fans are here for every single word.
People like Cody, people that mistreat people in order to make themselves feel better, don't just pick random targets when picking on their spouses or children. They're using their loved ones' insecurities as ammunition to keep them off balance.
Let's dig even deeper into Christine's powerful words, because what she revealed in that interview wasn't just a little gossip to keep the cameras rolling. It was the raw truth of a woman who finally stopped apologizing for needing real love. Christine didn't just say there was no spark, she said there was no marriage, period. And that hits different, because when you're in a relationship that's lost its warmth, it's not just about what happens in the bedroom, it's about feeling completely alone in the one place you should feel safe. Christine said it herself. There was something lacking and something missing. She knew it. Cody knew it. And yet, she was the only one who cared enough to try to fix it. That's the heartbreak of it all. She was fighting to keep a marriage alive when Cody had already walked away in every way that mattered. And when you realize your partner has stopped trying, it's like the world goes quiet. Christine was done living in that quiet. She was done pretending the coldness wasn't real. And fans, they're flooding comment sections with messages of support, sharing their own stories of nights spent lying awake, wondering why the person next to them felt a million miles away. Because Christine's confession isn't just about her, it's about anyone who's ever been in a relationship that looked fine on the outside, but felt like an empty shell behind closed doors.
He's attacked all of his wives that are leaving in the area that hurts them the most, or that they pride, or that they value, right? For Christine, it was devastating that he wasn't physically attracted to her.
It's a reminder that intimacy isn't just about it's about feeling chosen, feeling desired, and feeling like your partner sees you as more than just a prop in their life. Cody always acted like he was the prize, like Christine should be grateful for whatever scraps of affection he decided to toss her way. But Christine's had enough of that script. She's done living like she's just an extra in Cody's love story. She's the leading lady of her own life now, and she's not afraid to say it. And fans, they're here for every second of her glow up. Because when you finally stop settling for less, that's when the real magic happens. Cody's role in all of this can't be ignored, because Christine's confession didn't come out of nowhere. It was the final chapter in a story that's been written in cold stares, dismissive shrugs, and empty nights for years. Cody might have played the doting husband for the cameras, but behind the scenes, he was checked out, plain and simple. And Christine, She felt every second of it. She said they both knew there was something lacking, but Cody's idea of fixing it was to pretend it didn't exist. He thought if he just ignored the problem long enough, it would go away. Like, Christine's need for love and connection was just another phase she'd get over, but Christine wasn't about to let him gaslight her into thinking this was normal. She wasn't about to accept that being in a marriage meant being alone in the same bed every night. And Cody, he didn't see the difference. He thought as long as he showed up for family events and filmed the show, that was enough. But for Christine, that was the final betrayal, because she wasn't asking for the world. She was asking for a husband who actually wanted to be her partner, not just her roommate.
He knows the buttons to push. So with me, it was like, no, we're not going to be intimate anymore. Then he'd be like, well, you know, you could do this and put it all on everybody else. He knows how to push the buttons, but he doesn't know how to take accountability for the fact that he just pushed a button.
What's really telling is how Cody's always been so quick to spin the narrative. He'd say Christine was the problem, that she wasn't supportive enough, that she was too emotional. But the truth is, she was just honest. She was honest about the fact that intimacy matters, that feeling wanted matters, that a marriage without passion isn't a marriage at all, it's a performance. And Christine, she's done performing for a man who never really saw her in the first place. Fans are calling it out for what it is. Cody's refusal to nurture that connection wasn't just laziness, it was a choice to keep Christine in her place, to make her feel like she should be grateful for whatever scraps of affection he decided to give. But Christine's not playing along anymore. She's done living in a marriage that feels more like a prison. And honestly, that's the kind of bravery that fans can't stop cheering for. What's so gut-wrenching about Christine's confession is how it lays bare the huge gap between the family we saw on TV and the one she was actually living in. Because for years, fans watched Christine play the cheerful wife, smiling at family dinners, showing up to every big moment, acting like everything was fine. But behind closed doors, it was a different story. There were no lingering glances, no stolen kisses, no warmth, just a cold emptiness that she had to face every single night when the cameras stopped rolling. Christine said it best. She wasn't just missing a physical connection, she was missing the feeling of being wanted, of being seen. And Cody, he couldn't or wouldn't give her that. He was too busy building up his own image, too busy playing the role of the perfect patriarch, to care that his wife was dying inside.
I'm pretty sure Cody has even told Christine to her face that she wasn't good enough. When someone knows what makes you doubt yourself, they can use that info to control you better. Hearing Christine and Janelle recognize this manipulation tactic is really sad.
And let's be real, this wasn't about Christine needing too much. This was about Cody giving her nothing. What's so heartbreaking is how long Christine tried to hold on. Because when you're in a marriage like that, you tell yourself it'll get better. You think if you just work a little harder, if you're a little more patient, it'll all come back to life. But Christine reached the point where she realized it wasn't going to. She was never going to be the woman Cody wanted, because Cody didn't want a partner, he wanted a prop. And that's the quiet tragedy so many people have lived through. The moment when you realize you're not really a wife in your own marriage, you're just an extra in someone else's show. Christine's finally done pretending. She's done letting Cody's coldness make her feel small. And fans, they're standing right beside her. Because if there's one thing this whole saga has proven, it's that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit the truth. That no matter how much you love someone, if they don't love you back, it's time to let go. Christine's heartbreak didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, agonizing unraveling that played out year after year. She spent so long trying to keep the peace, to convince herself that the coldness in their bedroom was just a phase, that maybe if she was patient enough, Cody would find his way back to her. But what she finally realized, and what fans are applauding her for, is that she was the only one fighting. Cody wasn't missing the intimacy because he didn't care enough to notice it was gone. And that's the part that stings the most. Because when Christine talks about those nights in their bedroom, she's not just talking about sex. She's talking about how it feels to reach out for your partner and find nothing there. Go to bed every night knowing the person lying next to you stopped seeing you as someone they loved a long time ago.
I mean, for Christine, she's always wanted Cody to be as in love with her as she was with him. So what does Cody do? He uses intimacy to control and literally get her to do what he wants.
That's not just about marriage, it's about your whole sense of self, your worth, and your dignity. Cody's coldness was more than just a lack of physical affection, it was a power move, a way to keep Christine guessing and doubting herself. He wanted her to feel like she was the one who failed, like she was the one who wasn't enough. But Christine's not buying that story anymore. She's finally seeing the truth, that his refusal to nurture their intimacy wasn't about her flaws, it was about his. And the second she stopped accepting that twisted version of reality, she took her power back. Fans can't get enough of her courage. They're flooding social media with messages of support, telling her how proud they are that she's finally speaking her truth. Because so many people have been where Christine was, trapped in a relationship that looked perfect on the outside, but was rotting from the inside out. And Christine's done hiding that rot. She's shining a light on it, and in the process, she's giving everyone who's ever felt alone in their own marriage a reason to believe they're not alone at all. And that's the real impact of Christine's confession. She's not just telling her story, she's telling the story of so many people who felt that same coldness in their own homes. Because Cody's refusal to nurture their intimacy wasn't just an isolated mistake, it was the final proof that he'd stopped seeing Christine as a partner, as a woman who deserved to be cherished. And Christine, she's done carrying the weight of his indifference. What's so powerful is how Christine has flipped the narrative that Cody always tried to control. He wanted the world to see her as the problem, the wife who just couldn't be happy, who always needed more than he was willing to give. But Christine's truth cuts through all of that spin. She's saying out loud that she didn't leave because she wanted too much. She left because he gave her nothing. And fans are cheering her on because it's a story they know all too well. The story of giving and giving until you realize there's nothing left to give. Cody's been so good at playing the victim, telling anyone who would listen that Christine was impossible to please. But fans see it for what it is now. They see how he used the show to build a perfect image, how he used his charm and his camera-ready smile to hide the truth of what was really happening behind closed doors. And Christine, she's not letting him get away with it anymore. She's reclaiming her voice. And with every word she says, she's breaking the spell he tried to keep her under for so long. For Christine, this isn't just about closing the door on a failed marriage. It's about opening the door to a life where she doesn't have to settle for half-hearted love. And fans, they're not just watching, they're learning. Because if Christine can walk away from a marriage that was never really alive, maybe they can too. And that's the real power of her story. It's not just about what she lost, it's about everything she's finally found. As the final puzzle pieces fall into place, it's clear that Christine's revelation isn't just a juicy headline, it's the ultimate truth bomb that's blown Cody's carefully controlled image to smithereens. Because while he's busy trying to spin his version of events, Christine's words are the ones that ring true. She's done letting him be the narrator of her story, done letting him paint her as the problem. She's telling the world that a marriage without intimacy isn't a marriage, it's a performance, and she's done performing. Robin might be the one still playing the supportive wife on camera, but fans are starting to see the cracks in that picture too. Because if Cody could shut Christine out so completely, what's to stop him from doing the same to Robin? That's the question everyone's asking. And while Robin might be hoping this is just a rough patch, Christine's story says otherwise. It says this is who Cody really is, a man who needs to be worshipped, but can't be bothered to nurture the love he's supposed to be protecting. But Christine, she's out here living her best life, and she's not looking back. She's the one who walked away from the coldness, the silence, the emptiness. And in doing so, she's showing everyone that you don't have to settle for less. That you don't have to keep hoping someone will change when they've shown you over and over that they won't. And that's why fans are flooding the comments with messages like, "You're my hero, Christine," and "This is what it looks like to take your power back." Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about what happened in Christine and Cody's bedroom, it's about what happens when a woman finally says, "I deserve more." And Christine, she's showing us all that it's never too late to start over. Never too late to walk away from a love that was never real, and never too late to choose yourself, even if it means starting from scratch. And for fans, that's the kind of comeback that's worth watching again and again. So tell me, was Christine's marriage doomed from the start? Or did Cody choose this outcome when he stopped caring about what really mattered? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next video on your screen is waiting. And there's always more to the story, especially when Christine's finally telling her side.